Yes, my people, it is your boy VRD back for another commentated drive, and today we're just doing a short little cheeky drive down from London Victoria to Purley. We're going to be calling at Clapham Junction, East Croydon, South Croydon, Purley Oaks, and finally Purley. So it's a journey time of about 30 minutes or so. Yeah, I've noticed I've been slacking with the uploads recently, and I'm really trying my best to get back into the routine of everything, but work's just been getting in the way. Work and gym, they take up so much of my time. I've been doing a lot of overtime as well because we need money, dog. But yeah, I'm gonna, do you know what? Have I plugged out my freezer? Give me a sec, guys. Yeah, I'm back. Apologies for that, because I record in the same room as this freezer, so if I don't turn off the freezer, you're gonna hear it in the background and it lowers the quality of the video. But yeah, that's all been sorted out now. So yeah, I'm sure that's the intro out of the way. So without further ado, we're gonna jump in the train and get set up here. I'm gonna point out from now that um on the Brighton mainline DLC, when you come across a class 377 that has been spawned in a stationary state, so if it hasn't spawned in and started driving, so this one has spawned in right here in platform 18 at London Victoria. When that happens, if you take command of the service before the service commences, when the service does commence, the back gangways, so these doors here, the ones at the back will be locked open for some reason. So the way to avoid that happening is to just wait for the service to commence and then quickly take command of the service from the artificial intelligence, and then that shouldn't happen. You're not even going to notice it, to be honest, because it happens at the back of the train, but because I'm aware of the fact that it happens, I just try to avoid it. I'm not sure if that made any sense. That wasn't the best explanation, but I'll go over what I mean afterwards. So what I'm going to do now is, to be honest, I'm not going to do anything because you have to sit here and wait for the AI to take command of the service. That is going to happen at 6:30, I believe, because we're due out of here at 6:32. So yeah, I think at 6:30 the AI is going to come sit in the seat, and then at that point we have to quickly press triangle. I'm playing on PS5, if that wasn't clear. You press triangle, then do you know what, it's easier if I just do a live demonstration of it, so I'm going to edit down the video now and I will catch you guys in 5 minutes. Right, so we are approaching the yeah, there we go. So the AI has come and sat in the seat, immediately pressing triangle, taking command of the service myself. Alright, so the AI has inserted the master key and moved the F&R switch back into neutral. Because the safety systems aren't activated yet, I'm gonna move the F&R switch back into the off position and remove the master key. I'm gonna set the driver reminder appliance as well. I'm gonna come over to the safety systems isolation panel. I'm gonna turn the automatic warning system, driver safety device, and vigilance isolation switches into the vertical normal positions. And if you've seen pretty much any of my other videos, you'll know that I always do this way in advance. But like I said, because I had to do this nonsense to avoid the glitch with the gangway doors at the other end of the train, I've obviously waited until now to do it. So now we're going to sit back in the driver's seat. They really need to sort that glitch out, you know, because the Brighton mainland has been out for like 2 years now. Yeah, I'm sure it's been 2 years, so I'm not sure why that's still a thing. Anyway, enough waffling. Let me insert the master key. Oops. Turn the F&R switch into neutral and acknowledge the AWS self-test sequence. Now I'm gonna immediately open the passenger doors on the left-hand side. We're probably gonna be about 30 seconds late out of here, but I couldn't care less. We're going to look at our cooling pattern as well. Service 1 Yankee 04, London Victoria to Caterham and Tatton Corner. So like I said, Clapham Junction, East Croydon, South Croydon, Purley Oaks, and finally Purley. At Purley in real life, this service would divide. I'm saying in real life, or in the game it would divide as well, and then half of it will continue towards Caterham, and then the other half will continue towards Tottenham Corner. But obviously the line down to Caterham and the line down to Tottenham Corner has not been modelled in Train Sim World. But this service in real life, that is what would happen. I don't think I'm making sense right now. We're gonna finally turn on our headlights. I'm gonna turn them into the night running configuration, and tail light switch can remain in the auto position. Gonna take a look at the front of the train. Brighter headlights shining from the driver's side, not so bright LED starlight shining from the non-driver's side, which is the night running configuration. And destination display shows Caterham and Tottenham Corner. Normally in a class 377 Electro Star you would have to do that yourself, but for some reason the game's gone and done it for me. I'm not complaining, but yeah, you would set that in the PIS, sorry, on the TMS screen here. Let's get out of here because we're damn near 2 minutes late. So we have a green signal. Glancing at the CCTV monitors, or of course you can open the window and look back along the train, whatever works best for you. Gonna press the door close button. Door interlock light has illuminated. Taking a final glance at the signal and a final glance at the CCTV monitors, or a final glance at the platform. Again, whatever works best for you. Because you have a green signal, I can now reset the driver reminder appliance. FNR switch into forward, and I'm going to perform a test of the hill start button as we move off here. So holding in the hill start button. On PlayStation 5, that is done by pressing the L2. Moving the power brake controller into the off position, still holding in the hill start button, observing a reading of 1 bar on the brake gauge, selecting power notch 1, waiting for about a second, then releasing the hill start button. Train should begin to roll off and brake cylinder gauge reading should fall to 0. And just look back along the platform and look at the CCTV monitors as your train begins to move off, just to ensure that no one's being dragged along. Gonna up the power to notch 2. Speed limit departing Victoria is 20 miles an hour, shortly increasing to 40 miles an hour, then 45 miles an hour not too long after that. So we're up to 20, so I've shut off the power. You can see we had a letter G in the theatre box display above that signal. Oh my goodness. Right. Let's just turn on the windscreen wipers. Yeah, we had a letter G in the theatre box display above that signal telling us that we are being routed onto line G. So the lines into and out of London Victoria are in alphabetical order. So on the far left is line A, then B, C, D, E, F, and we're on line G. Line G is the down Brighton fast. So we just passed a board with the number 40 on it. So once the full length of our train has cleared that board, we will be able to accelerate up to 40 miles an hour. And we're now beginning to climb upwards to cross the River Thames. So our speed did begin to roll down towards 15 miles an hour. So I've just selected power notch 1. I'm going to up that to power notch 2. And we should now be clear of the 40 board. So speed limit is now 40 miles an hour. But I'm going to remain in power notch 2. And I have gone over this a couple times in the past. Speed limit is now increasing to 45 miles an hour, by the way, but there isn't a board to tell you that. But at this point it does increase to 45 miles an hour. But I'm remaining in power notch 2, and I'm only accelerating up to 30 miles an hour. The reason for that is so I can perform a running brake test. So now that we're up to 30, I've shut off the power, Selected brake step 2, observing the speed fall by 10 miles an hour, releasing the brakes, and I'm going to go back into notch 2 of power to accelerate up towards 45 miles an hour. So when you depart from the first station of your trip, you perform a running brake test at 30 miles an hour. Something I forget to do quite a lot, but yeah, those are the rules. So like I said, speed limit is now 45 miles an hour. What I'm going to do is accelerate up to about 40, then I'm going to shut off the power. Reason for that is because we're going to shortly enter a downward section of track. A downhill section of track, I should say. So gravity is going to bring us up to 45 miles an hour. So I've shut off the power now. And I'd say around here is the commencement of the downhill section. By the time we reach the bottom of that downhill section, our speed should have rolled up to 45 miles an hour. And from that point, we're not going to be too far out from Clapham Junction station. And speed limit does go up to 60 miles an hour about 3/4 of a mile prior to Clapham Junction. So just keep that in mind. But you're obviously not going to need to accelerate up towards that because it's a waste of electricity. Accelerating towards 60 and then having to put the brakes on straight after, it's a bit, yeah, there's no point. So you can see our speed is beginning to increase. That's just down to gravity. I'm still in the off position on the power brake controller there. We're now at the bottom of the downhill section and we just passed a small board down at track level. There's another one that we just passed now as well with the number 60 on it. So speed limit is now 60 miles an hour. But like I said, I'm not going to bother accelerating towards that. There's just no point. Clapham Junction station is not too far from here at all. In fact, I can see it coming up in the distance now. So I'm going to prepare to make a brake step 1 application for Clapham Junction. Just trying to time it right. I'd say about now. Aiming for an entry speed of about 30 miles an hour or so into the platform. Stopping position for 8 carriage trains here at Clapham Junction. There isn't a stop board for any of the train lengths on this particular platform, but I've got my little reference points that I use, so I'll just share that with you guys now. 8 carriage reference point is this white pillar here, this lift you can see coming up. So I'd say I normally put the edge of that pillar in the window there, just like that. So that was literally accomplished with brake step 1 primarily, and then a short burst of brake step 2, then back to brake step 1. Now that we're at stand, brake step 3 neutral, and we have a door release on the left. And we're about 2 minutes late, but it's not the end of the world. I think in reality the 8 carriage stopping position is a tiny bit further along the platform, but like I said, you can just use the edge of this pillar as a reference point. It will be fine because the full length of your train will still be on the platform. And if you're 12 carriages, you just stop at the end of the platform. 4 carriages, I normally use the beginning of the staircase as my reference point. But yeah, that is for Clapham Junction platform 30. What platform is this? 13? I think this is platform 13. Yeah, Clapham Junction platform 13 specifically. Anyway, we better get a move on. So we have a green signal, glancing at the CCTV monitors, pressing the door close button. We have interlock, glancing at the CCTV monitors a final time, as well as the signal. F&R switch into forward, and we are on a slight upward gradient here, departing from Clapham Junction in this direction. So I'm going to use the hill start button again to move off. just like so. And it is pouring down with rain, and we are in the leaf fall season as well, towards the end of the leaf fall season. So I'm gonna be very gentle with my acceleration, just gradually step up my power. Speed limit is now 60 miles an hour. So we're in notch 2 of power at the moment. Gonna up it to notch 3. And once you get up to about 30 miles an hour or so, just up it to notch 4. Apologies if you can hear my cat in the background. It's got one of those collars that has a bell attached to it, so if it's moving about, the whole house is gonna know about it. Time is it now? 6:41. So yeah, my game time is more or less synced up with real time at the moment. We're 2 minutes ahead. Oh yeah, we're approaching 60 miles an hour, so I'm going to reduce the power to notch 2. We're still on a bit of an upward gradient, so notch 2 of power should maintain 60 miles an hour for us, but I can adjust the power as necessary if that isn't the case. We're shortly going to be passing through Wandsworth Common Station, and on the other side of Wandsworth Common Station, speed limit increases to 70 miles an hour. We're just about to exceed 60 miles an hour, so I momentarily reduced the power down to notch 1, but 70, yeah, there we go. Just passed a tiny little board down at track level with the number 70 in it, so speed limit is now 70 miles an hour, so I've gone back into notch 4 of power. We're about to pass through Balham Station. Between Wandsworth Common and Balham Station there is a ridiculously steep upward gradient, but it begins to level out after you pass through Balham. This is my local land, so I do know it quite well. So we're approaching 70 miles an hour now. I'd say from here, notch 1 of power seems to maintain 70 quite well. You might have to bounce between the off position and power notch 1 a couple times, but primarily notch 1 of power maintains 70 miles an hour between Balham and Streatham Common. After Streatham Common, which is the next station we're going to pass through, you got another fairly steep uphill, so you're going to have to go into notch 2 of power to maintain 70. So we just passed through Streatham Common Station, and we're now entering a very steep upward gradient into the next station, which is Norbury. So I'm going to go into notch 2 of power. After Norbury Station, again, the gradient begins to level out. So as we pass through the platforms of Norbury, I'm gonna shut off the power again. Now, the next station we're gonna pass through is Thornton Heath. The station after that is Selhurst. On the other side of Selhurst, we're gonna be crossing onto the slow lands. So the lands onto our left, the lands on our left, not onto our left. Oh gosh. The lands to our left, we are going to be joining those lands, and that is because we are due into East Croydon platform 6, as you can see on our cooling pattern here. So I know that East Croydon platform 6 is on the slow lands. If we're being routed into East Croydon platform 2 or 3, then we'd be remaining on the fast lands. But platform 6, platform 5, platform 4, those are all slow land platforms. So I know that we're going to be crossed over at Selhurst. So this is Thornton Heath now. I'm not making an effort to maintain 70 miles an hour now. I'm just going to let the speed begin to fall off because we are about to slow down for the crossover onto the slow lands. Speed limit for that move is 30 miles an hour. Got a double yellow signal here. So I'm going to make a brake step 1 application about now. Gonna aim to be doing about 35 miles an hour as we enter the platforms here at Selhurst. Doing a bit more than 35, so I've just maintained the brake step 1 application a bit more. We're doing 32.5, so I've released the brakes. And because we're on a steep upward gradient, our speed rolled down to 30 just in time for the crossover. And we did pass a single yellow signal, so I'm going to make another brake step 1 application to bring us down to 20 miles an hour. And that is because we can expect the net signal to be red, so the AWS magnet associated with that signal that we're about to pass over, there we go, acknowledging the AWS alert, you want to be doing no faster than 20 miles an hour. And we can't actually see the signal yet. Well, I can see it now and it is still displaying a red aspect, but it's most likely going to change as we get closer to it. You can even see the reason why it's being held at a red aspect, because we have a train that's been routed to cross our path, and now that that train is clear, signals jumped straight up to a green aspect. So going into notch 2 of power, speed limit is now 40 miles an hour. Yeah, route knowledge is very important, guys. I'm thinking I don't want to be a PTG rail ripoff, but I do want to do some route learning videos. But I feel bad because I'm just ripping off PTG rail. He's put a lot of hard work into his route learning videos, but I like the concept of it. And Train Sim World doesn't really have a route learning series like that. I've seen a couple people do it on YouTube, but it's the quality of their videos are kind of questionable. So yeah, I don't know. Just let me know what you guys think in the comment section or something. So we're up to 40 miles an hour. I've shut off the power. We're not too far out from East Croydon. This is the second signal out from East Croydon. We've got position 1 junction indication telling us that we are being routed into platform 6. The signal without any junction indication tells you that you're being routed into platform 5. Position 4 indication is for platform 4, and then some of the other ones probably take you onto the fast lines again, so platform 3 and whatnot. I don't know, but anyway, I've made a brake step 1 application to begin slowing down for East Croydon. Again, aiming for an entry speed of about 30 miles an hour into the platform. Momentarily upped it to brake step 2, back down to brake step 1, releasing, back into brake step 1. This sort of outcrop of the wall on our left is what I'm going to be using as the reference point for our stopping position. As we get closer to that, if I look to the right, there we go, you can see the stop board has appeared in the window and we've stopped with it dead in the center, which is perfect. Now that we're at stand, brake step 3, neutral, and we have a door release on the right, so I'm going to cross the cab and activate the door buttons on this side. And we are 2 minutes late, which is insane, but we had we got held at the red signal, so I feel like even if we were on time, we would have been held at that red signal anyway. And then but then again, maybe it's because we were running late, and maybe that train just got routed in front of us, because I know that in Train Sim World the signaling is a bit more dynamic. In Train Sim Classic, for example, the way the signaling works is no matter how late you're running, you're always gonna keep the path that was assigned to you at the start of the service. But in Train Sim World, if you're running late, the game actually shows a bit of initiative and will route other trains in front of you, so your path could actually get sacrificed, which I like. That might not make sense to a lot of people, but what can I say? So we have a green signal, glancing at the CCTV monitors, pressing the door close button. We have interlock, final glance at the monitors and the signal, F&R switching to forward, and we're on level terrain now, so we don't need the whole start button. Straight into notch 1 of power, upping it to notch 2. Speed limit is now 45 miles an hour. It went up from 40 to 45, I'd say just before East Croydon station. Gonna up it to notch 3 and just gonna remain in notch 3 until we get up to 45. There's not really much point in going up to notch 4. Speed limit is now going up to 50 miles an hour. And we're not too far out from our next station, which is South Croydon. And I don't usually stop here, so it's a miracle that I actually managed to remember. I actually managed to remember that I was due to stop there. So yeah, I've made a brake step 1 application. I think it might have been on the early side. Okay, no, not too early. Gonna momentarily release it back into brake step 1. You can see the platforms of South Croydon coming up. An entry speed of 25 miles an hour. A bit on the slower side, but like I said, I don't normally stop here, so I'm being a bit more cautious than normal. Just bouncing between brake step 1 and the off position to come to a nice and controlled stop. And we're just going to stop at the end of the platform here, just before the signal goes out of view. Brake step 3, neutral, and we have another door release on the right, so crossing the cab, activating the door buttons on this side. And our signal has a position 4 junction indication, so just beyond South Croydon station we're going to be routed to the right. The signal without the junction indication means that you are being routed straight, although that's technically to the left, not straight. But it just means that you're going to continue on the track that you're currently on. But if you have any of the white lights, it means that you're turning off of the track that you're on. That's the best way I can describe it. I really want to make a railway course. I'm gonna have to start working on that, because I feel like I have a lot of information that I've just stacked up over the years that I really want to share with you guys. So yeah, I'll crack on with that at some point. Glancing at the CCTV monitors, we have a green signal, pressing the door close button. Oh, sorry, I'm stretching. Yeah. Okay. We have interlock, door interlock lights are illuminated. Final glance at the CCTV monitors and the signal. F&R switch into forward. Straight into notch 1 of power because we're on level terrain. We're fairly level terrain. I think it's a bit of an uphill gradient, but it's not significant enough to warrant the whole start button. Up to notch 2. And speed limit for the crossover onto the tracks to our right is 20 miles an hour. You can see just down there at track level we have a little board with the number 20 in it and an arrow pointing to the right. So as common sense would tell you, speed limit is 20 miles an hour for trains being routed to the right. And if you were paying attention, you would have seen the other board with the 40 in it and an arrow pointing to the left. Do I really need to explain what that means? I don't think so. And we had another board that we just passed now with the number 60 on it. Once the full length of our train has cleared that board, we will be able to accelerate up to 60 miles an hour. So we should now be clear of that, so I'm going to begin to accelerate towards 60, just selecting notch 2 of power for now. I'm going to up that to notch 3. And finally notch 4. Next station, which is Purley, is not too far from here. I always struggle with the braking point for Purley, so I'm going to have a very overly cautious approach. I'm going to shut off the power from now, make my brake application about here. I feel like this is slightly on the early side, but better safe than sorry. We're down to 30 miles an hour, so I'm releasing the brakes. I can see the platforms coming up in the distance, so yeah, that was a very early brake application, but no, that was an extremely early brake application. But like I said, I don't normally drive this service, so South Croydon and Purley Oaks, I normally just fly through them at 60 miles an hour, so I don't really know the braking points too well for either of those stations. Now that we're entering the platform, back into brake step 1. Stopping position is at the end of the platform, and I do believe there is a stop board this time. So we're going to aim to stop with that in this little porthole window here. You can see the stop board coming up now. Brake step 1 seems to be doing a good job. Yep, I can just about make out the stop board there. Brake step 3, neutral, and we have a door release on the left. Right, we have a double yellow signal, so that tells us that we have been cleared up to the end of the platform at Purley Station, which is the next station. Checking the CCTV monitors, pressing the door close button. Door interlock lights have illuminated. Final glance at the monitors and the signal. F&R switch into forward, and it's a bit of an uphill out of Purley in this direction, so I'm gonna use the whole start button. Up to notch 2. Notch 3. And finally notch 4. I believe Purley platform 6. So the next signal that we come across should have a position 2 junction indication. So 5 white lights pointing horizontally to the left. You can see that coming up now. And it is a single yellow, so next signal is going to be red. And the next signal is at the end of the platform at Purley Station, as I said. So speed limit for the move into platform 6 at Purley Station is 20 miles an hour. So I've gone into brake step 1 just to begin to decelerate towards that. I'm going to up that to brake step 2 because I think we're going a bit too fast. Oh gosh. Okay. We were doing 10 miles an hour above the speed limit, which is okay. The passengers might have felt it a bit, but it's not the safety of the train was not compromised in any way. It wasn't like it wasn't like the situation up at Peterborough. That was insane. If you know, then you know. I'm not gonna say any company names, but yeah. I was gonna say something, but I completely forgot. But yeah. And just bouncing between brake steps 1 and 2 to come to a nice and controlled stop. Stopping position is at the end of the platform here at Purley. There's our red signal as well. And just looking for the stop board. There it is, stopping with that in the window there. And we slightly overshot it, but who cares. Brake step 3, neutral. We have a red signal ahead of us, so I'm setting the driver reminder appliance, and we have a door release on the left. Right, so we're now gonna surrender command of this service to the artificial intelligence because it will be continuing towards Caterham or Tattenham Corner. So gonna turn the tail light switch into the off position. That just stops the tail lights from turning on once we turn the F and R switch into off. F and R switch goes into off. Master key removed. I've just been kicked out of the seat. And then we come over to the safety systems panel and turn the 3 relevant safety system switches into the horizontal isolated positions. Exiting the cab, and we're going to do the outro. I'd like to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this commentated drive. Constructive feedback and criticism is more than welcome in the comment section below. If you'd like to further support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing. I will catch you guys in the next one. Love.